Anyone who's not on can see it? All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Andrew from the Education Alliance. The Education Alliance exists to mobilize business and community support for public schools. And one of the things that we're very passionate about is partnerships that increase college access for students. And so today, the virtual college visit is made possible with support from West Virginia's Gear Up program. And today we are very excited to be visiting with Concord. We'll have about a 50-minute virtual tour, and I will be stopping us about 3 times, roughly every 10 minutes or so, to ask for a Q&A. If you all would like to chat in the box, ask the questions of your students, just give it in the chat box. And one lucky class who decides to participate will be receiving a $20 gift card that will be drawn randomly at the end of the call. And if you have questions at any time, you can put them in the chat and we'll answer them as we come to those question points. Right, so without further ado, I will turn it over to Alan here from Concord and we'll get started. Alan?
All right, thank you, Andrew. I'm Alan Smith. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions at Concord University. I'm also a Concord University graduate. Grew up in the big town of Mullins, West Virginia. It's in the southern part of the state. In case you were wondering, some of you may or may not know where that is. But if you're anything like I was in high school, you did not win the Golden Horseshoe, but that's okay. We won't hold that against you here today. But glad all of you could join me today. I am going to try to give you a little bit more information, of course, about Concord. And as Andrew said, definitely feel free to ask some questions, drop them in the chat. I'll get to them as quickly as possible. And I definitely like it when people interact with me. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to share my screen here. Let's see.
And while you're setting up there, Alan, I just wanted to ask everybody who's online, how many students are with us today? If you teachers would like to just kind of estimate and kind of throw it in the chat, we'd love to hear about that.
All right, Andrew, can you see my PowerPoint screen fine?
Yep, everything looks like it's showing up okay on mine.
Great, good deal, good deal. All right, so just want to give you a few fun facts about Concord University. Our mascot, of course, is the Mountain Lions. His name is Roar, and our school colors are maroon and gray. Fun fact about mountain lions, just in case you didn't know, this is your biology lesson for the day, but a mountain lion is actually the same animal as a catamount, a puma, a cougar, and a panther. And so scientifically speaking, there is no such thing as a black panther. That's kind of a stereotype. But so when you see what people have labeled as a panther was really a jaguar or a leopard that still has spots underneath the black fur on their skin. So anyway, if you ever win a game show with that information, definitely remember me when you get that cut of the pie. I definitely expect my cut as well. So also, there are a few facilities that we do have on our campus that are I feel like are kind of unique to Concord. We do have a rat lab on our campus, and you're thinking, why in the world do you have a rat lab on our campus? Well, if any of you are thinking about majoring in psychology by chance, you definitely will spend some time in the rat lab. You actually will have a couple rats that you take care of while you're here as a student. Our psychology program is very research-based, so you actually get to do a lot of experiments yourself, which is pretty cool. And we kind of pride ourselves in having a very hands-on education, so to speak, for those programs that definitely require you to go to grad school, psychology being one of those. The next picture, the second picture, is a picture of our DNA lab. And it's pretty cool. And there's a lot of things that they go over in the DNA lab that most people don't see till graduate school. So you're exposed to a variety of different scientific scenarios, and once again, have the opportunity to participate in those. If you'll notice, the table there in the DNA lab is kind of arranged in like a figure 8 type of format. And that way everyone, for the most part, has eye contact with all classmates, very conducive for class discussion. You can kind of see there on the top left-hand part, there's a plasma screen TV. There are actually 4 plasma screen TVs in that lab. And anytime an experiment is going on, they can pull that experiment up on the like a microscopic image or whatever on those plasma screen TVs, so you don't have to huddle over your friend's shoulder to see what in the world's going on. There's also an overhead projector screen that they can lower as well, and the professor or instructor is only just a couple steps from every student at any given time. So for those of you who might be looking to go on to professional grad school in fields such as pharmacy, medicine, any kind of medical practice, doctor, you definitely will have 2 or 3 classes in this facility. And once again, it's very unique, and most people wouldn't have access to that type of instruction until graduate school. And students who go on to graduate school from Concord will often come back and say, man, the first year is basically a review of what we did at Concord, and all of our classmates are like, hey, how'd you know how to do that? The last image is the electron microprobe, and basically it's like a giant microscope, and it's the only one in the state of West Virginia. And to my knowledge, I believe it's the only one in the nation used in undergraduate research. So I do know there are some other colleges and universities across the nation that have a microprobe that are mainly used during graduate research. So those are just a few facilities that are kind of unique to Concord. Also, speaking of facilities, if you're into communications and your multimedia production, fine arts, we do have a TV studio on our campus, and we also have a radio station on our campus. It's totally student produced, student ran. The students do everything. They write the scripts, they plug it into teleprompters, they choose the music they're playing on the radio stations. We do have our own FM dial, which broadcasts across campus. And if you're interested in getting into broadcasting journalism or just media production in general, you will be rotated amongst all of these things so that you become a jack of all the trades and you learn everything. So even though you might want to be on the camera, or you might want to be behind the camera, or you might want to be a producer, you still know and have experience on doing pretty much every job within that program. So, but anyway, if you ever come for a tour, we love to take you in those facilities, show you some of the cool things that they do in there. The students are getting a grade for that, by the way. Even though it's student produced, they are getting a grade, and there is a staff sponsor for that. How did Concord get its name? This is something that, that I think is very unique about Concord. We are a public school, but we're not named after a town or a famous dead person. Concord is the opposite of discord. It's people coming together from different backgrounds to work toward a common goal. We were founded shortly after the Civil War to be a place of resting and healing. Our first president is actually buried on our campus, and that's one of the reasons he founded Concord, because literally, as you guys know, we were kind of in that bed of Civil War battles here. And when the war was over, we were founded shortly after in 1872. So anyway, once again, that's some trivia information that might help you in a game show one day. And just a little quick also glance at Concord. We are a liberal arts public school founded in 1872. I mentioned that earlier. We have over 60 majors, minors, and programs of study. And a couple of the newest additions that are also kind of unique to Concord, or one I should say that's definitely unique. We have a major in esports. So we're going to talk a little bit about that later on in the presentation. We have a competitive esports program, but we also have an academic major. So if you want to major in that, it's going to involve some business courses, accounting, graphic design, and you specifically tailor your course load along with your academic advisor to best fit what you want to do after graduation. So we're pretty excited about that. Something else the governor just gave us approval for funding for fall 2023, we're going to be starting a nursing program at Concord. We're very elated about that. So that's one of our newest programs. We have 6 graduate programs. The 2 newest additions, we added a master's in athletic training, and we also added a master's in business administration. So all of our programs are our master's programs are totally online. Athletic training, of course, may require some hands-on functions and projects of obviously by nature, but all of our other graduate programs are online. We offer them in education, social work, health promotion, and a Master of Arts in Teaching. So as you can see, that's where we're located, where the Paul is, down in Mercer County in the town of Athens, which is right next to Princeton. We're right off of Interstate 77. We're very easily accessible there. And we do have an extension campus at the Irma Bird Center in Beckley, and that's in one building. And mainly what's taught there are general studies classes, and you'll find a lot of students who are non-traditional or local to that area who will attend courses at the Beckley Center. Now I'd like to turn it over to Andrew for just a couple minutes. I believe he might have a couple questions or things to interject at this moment.
Well, yeah, well, now actually is a great time for questions. Teachers, I'd like you to ask your students, what is the most surprising thing that they've learned about the college so far? I mean, I know we've learned a lot in just the very short 10 or so minutes that we've had here. So maybe Alan could react to some of those things that you've learned. Just go ahead and put your answers in the chat whenever you pick those up, and we will read them out. Tiffany McMahon's class is surprised that Concord offers both undergrad and graduate programs.
Yes. I see some nice comments and some things that have sparked some interest there.
I see a lot of interest in the nursing program. Are you going to talk more about that in a little bit, or would you like to take a minute to talk about that now?
Sure. Basically, it's something that I've personally have wanted to see Concord to get for a long time, and so the talk has been on the table between us and legislators and the governor for the past couple years or so, and we did get approval for funding, and so that has to start by the fall of 2023. So if you're still kind of undecided at that time, we definitely, and then by that time you decide nursing, hey, it'll be a perfect timing for you. Pre-professional science programs, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on, and I kind of alluded to that earlier. It's definitely one of our niches as a school. So we've always been strong in the sciences, and so the nursing program, I can't imagine it's definitely going to pick up, from that spot. We have great faculty in those science class areas, and I'm sure that we will plan to add the necessary faculty to keep that kind of reputation going. So right now, as far as I know, no one has really discussed this, what degree level the nursing program would go to, but as far as I know, probably an RN, but don't quote me on that. So that may be something that's still being talked about and hashed out at the moment. So, but we are looking forward to it.
And would you talk a little bit more about the esports program? It looks like we've got a couple of interesting classes on that as well.
We all have 7 games that we offer, and I have a slide about that a little bit later on. But they compete nationally, and anytime our students win a competition, that money is divided amongst the students. So the campus or the college doesn't get any of that money. And as you guys know, those of you who are into esports, there's some pretty lucrative prizes in terms of money that can be won with those competitions. That being said, last year our Call of Duty team was first in the nation, and the year before that we were second in the nation. And so we're in the 3rd year of the program right now. Our mission is to try to add one game a year. So we're pretty much ahead of track, so to speak, on that. We started out with 3 games, and now we have 7. And I'll that slide later on, you'll see all the games, because if I try to name them all, I know I'll leave one out.
I think it's really great that the students actually get a kind of like tournament winnings as well. That's really cool.
Absolutely. It's been a big hit for us so far. So, great.
Okay. Well, let's continue with the presentation. If you don't mind, we'll take some more questions here in a little bit later. If anybody thinks of anything in the meantime, just put it in the chat. Oh, the West Virginia School of the Deaf and Blind wants to know more about the Rat Lab. If you could talk about that real quick.
Like I said, one of our niches as a school, I think, is that undergraduate preparation and hands-on learning at Concord. And we want our undergraduate, especially in our pre-professional classes, to mirror graduate school as closely as possible. So that way, when students get there, they don't struggle as much as their peers do. And a lot of our professors in the psychology program have a lot of experience in the field prior to coming to Concord. So they bring that experience to the plate. So it's a lot of the Rat Lab is used for, of course, their own personal research. So students, once again, those are things, research projects that they are doing themselves and documenting themselves. They're in the Rat Lab, and it's that way. I think, as you've probably heard, experience is the best teacher. So they're getting that hands-on experience there. But if you'd ever like to come and visit, meet with a professor, talk about the lab a little bit more, we would welcome you with open arms on that. So, but hopefully, if you do want to major in psychology, you do want to make sure that you're okay with handling rats. So. All right. All right. So we have about 1,800 students overall here at Concord, about 60% female, 40% male. So ladies, I apologize. You do have to fight over the boyfriends at Concord. Guys, it's great news for you. You have a few more options than they do. Maybe that might be the reason you're looking at a college, but in all seriousness, 15 to 20% on our out-of-state market. Virginia is our #1 pool for out-of-state students just because of proximity. As you saw on the last slide, we're very, very close to the Virginia border, and we offer some assistance for students who live very, very close to Concord that are still out of state. And of course, all of the states that border us and states along the East Coast work well for us in terms of enrollment. You're not just going to be sitting beside students from Southern West Virginia. You're going to meet people from all over the country, all over the world. And, so I came from the small town of Mullins, as you might remember, and some of my other friends from Mullins met people from Japan and other places. And when they got married, they were in each other's weddings. So that's the type of relationships and things that you will make here at Concord. One thing I love about Concord too is that roughly 40% of our students are the first ones in their families to attend college. So if you fit that mold, you certainly won't be alone. I'm a first-generation college student. The president here at Concord is a first-generation college student. Many employees here are. So don't let that part intimidate you. There's a lot of people here who've been where you are. So I really like that about Concord. One of the hallmarks too is our faculty, over 110 full-time, over 73% hold the highest degree in their field. All our classes are taught by actual faculty. We do not use grad assistants to teach courses here at Concord. We feel like the professor with a terminal degree in their field is a little bit more qualified to teach you than someone who just graduated from their 4-year undergraduate program. Average class size is about 13, 14 kids, student to faculty ratio 16:1. And the 2 primary responsibilities of our faculty are to teach and advise. So with that advising, you have to meet with your advisor who is within your program of study every semester before you sign up for classes for the following semester. So they make sure that you're taking all the correct classes in the correct sequential order, and that you graduate on time, give you advice on what grad schools apply to, what jobs apply for, and that sort of thing. So they're not just involved with academics, they're involved with the social aspects of Concord. So you might be running beside one of your professors on the treadmill in the fitness center. Hopefully you're a couple steps faster than they are. You might find yourself at their house at the end of the year for a study session or a cookout or just a social gathering. I came out of retirement myself recently and played some intramural basketball. My body quickly reminded me I'm not in basketball shape, but it was still fun nonetheless. Students and faculty and staff, male and female, were all mixed together. So it's a great way to build some camaraderie, burn some calories at the same time. I still have my J though. My team did go 4-1 in case you were wondering, but that was a lot of fun. Oh, pre-professional programs, of course, I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. Just a couple other things that we do offer that make our pre-professional program strong is that we can help you with test preparation. Those entrance exams that you have to take to get into graduate school, they're not easy tests and they're expensive. So you only want to take those once, get to your school of choice and be done with it. And when you need a letter of recommendation, you can go to someone you personally know, can write you a little bit better heartfelt letter of recommendation as opposed to someone that you just met the last semester of your senior year. So like I said, I know I kind of talked about the other things a little bit earlier, but just know that if you decide a pre-professional program at Concord, you certainly won't sell yourself short. They are designed to challenge you, but that way, when you get to the next level, you're good to go. This is a partial listing of some of the graduate schools we can find some of our students either currently attending or have been accepted to or have recently graduated from, whether it's for a law program, IT, medical program, you name it. There's a variety of different schools up there. And another partial listing of some of the careers, you can find some of our graduates employed. One I always like to point out, if you've ever sat in a Marquis Cinemas, the president and CEO and founder was a Concord graduate. The co-founder of MedExpress is a Concord graduate. We have people in all types of walks of life and careers. I just saw that one of my friends who I went to Concord with just the last day or so, he played football here. He just got hired as the assistant defensive backs coach for the Denver Broncos. So we're very proud of him. His name's Ola Adams, if you want to Google him, search him. But he played and graduated here at Concord, and that was just very exciting. He's very excited about that. And he's been coaching in Division I football as an assistant coach for a few different schools over the years, and now he's with the Broncos. That's pretty cool. Performing arts, the cool thing about that at Concord is if you have a marching band at your school and you want to do that at Concord, but you don't want to major in music, guess what? You can do that. You get class credit for it. And for the marching band or any of our choral groups, you actually get an extra $500 scholarship for being in either one of those groups. If you want to have your own radio show, like you saw the pictures earlier, or participate in our television news broadcast, you can do those things, get class credit without majoring in communication. So we offer you that opportunity to continue your hobbies and interests here at Concord University. And you never know, you might say, hey, I like this a lot. I think I'm a double major. Wherever you go to school, it's very, very important to get involved. That's one of the most important aspects, I think, of college. You meet people outside of your normal walks of class that you might not normally cross paths with. Faculty and staff and students, but we have over 60 clubs and organizations, so this is not a comprehensive list. Pretty much anything you're interested in, we probably have it. If you're into politics, if you're into faith-based groups, if you're into outdoor recreation, if you're into Greek life, hey, we got it. But if we don't, our environment is very conducive to initiating your own club or organization, and we heavily encourage you to do so. And people who are active on campus, they retain better, they feel connected to the university, and you have a more memorable experience, and you build your resume. Speaking of getting involved, of course, we do have Greek Life. We have nationally recognized fraternities and sororities. They participate in community service, and there's actually a week devoted to Greek Life every semester. In the fall, it's homecoming, and that's where we have our bonfires during homecoming week here at the university. I know there could be some students here from all across the state, so we are, I think it goes without saying, we're very conveniently located to several outdoor recreational opportunities that are within arm's length. We even have a young lady who was hired last year as our director of intramural sports and outdoor recreation. So she takes trips with the students. We also have an outdoors club sponsor who is our chief of police, who takes hunting, fishing trips with students. We have Pipestem State Park is only a stone's throw away. Our home golf course is located there. Winter Place, so you can probably be on the slopes in about 25 minutes from campus, and that's we have a lot of students who work there as well. Whitewater rafting, you can probably do that in about an hour from campus. So there's lots of things you can do in the nearby area if you're in outdoor recreation. We're NCAA Division II in our athletics, so if you're interested in playing sport, get in touch with your coach. We have 16 sports counting indoor and outdoor track. So our women's soccer team was made it to the Elite Eight this year, and they were nationally ranked for the majority of the year. Baseball team last year was conference runner-up. One of our men's cross-country runners finished 35th in the nation in the national cross-country meet in Florida back in November. And those are just a few accolades that our athletics have received over the past few years. Our esports program here at Concord, those are all of the games that we do offer that we compete in. So Call of Duty, League of Legends, and Overwatch were our first three. And so we've been adding some games. If you're interested, our coach's contact information is listed there. Austin Clay, he's a great guy. He's very energetic. He's very receptive to meeting with students. He would love to talk to you about the program. We do offer scholarships for esports. Yes, we do offer scholarships. So if you're interested, get in touch with him. That's a conversation you have to have with him. Same with our NCAA Division II sports. We do offer scholarships there, but that is a conversation that you would need to have with your coach. We have residential life on campus. We just renovated North and South Towers. That's both pictures are a picture of our towers residence hall. So if you come for a tour, we actually take you in there. You get to walk around and see what we have to offer. And then we do have parking for all students. We only charge you $25 a semester to park your car, and you can bring a car as a freshman. I stayed on campus all 4 years, loved it, wouldn't trade it for anything. You make a lot of memories that way, get the campus experience, and kind of grow and mature by staying on campus. One of my favorite parts about Concord is dining. Hey, you mentioned food, I'm there. And if you come for a visit, that's another thing. We'll make sure that you have the opportunity to dine in our cafeteria on us, so you can try it for yourself. So we have a university cafeteria, which is all you can eat. And they're always fixing something different every day. Coke and Pepsi products in there. If there's something though that you don't want in there, or you just want a variety, something different, you can go downstairs to our food court. We have Subway. Don't know if you guys drink coffee yet, but you probably eventually will. So we got you covered with some Starbucks. And Food Lab, which is a new place on campus we just added this past fall. It's like a rotating restaurant concept. So one week it might be Italian, another week it might be tacos, another week it might be barbecue, but I've heard great reviews and I've tried it a couple of times, and it is very, very good. And you have different meal plan options to select, which all cost the same, and that gives you a variety of places to choose each day. So I think I was getting ready to turn it over to Andrew to see if he has anything to interject at this moment.
Thank you, Alan, and sorry to interrupt you there a little bit.
Oh, no, that was a perfect timing, actually.
So teachers, ask your students, what is one question that you want to ask this college? I see we've already got a couple in from West Virginia School of Deaf and Blind. So let me go ahead and start with those while you all put your questions in the chat here. So going back just a little bit, are there recommendations for blind or low vision people to participate in the esports program? Or is that esports or sports in general? I think they intend sports in general. So.
That would be something I probably would have to talk to the coach about. In terms of how much are the scholarships for sports. In terms of NCAA athletics, I mean, there are some students, depending on skill level, who can receive a full ride, their tuition, room and board paid for. And then there are some students who may get a partial scholarship. There are also some students who are playing sports on our teams that are receiving no athletic scholarship money at all. It just kind of depends on you, the person, your experience, your skill level, what they need at the time. When you're being recruited to the school, or when you're looking to play at a school, it may not always mean, if a school doesn't want you, doesn't mean you're not good. It just may mean that given what they have at that moment, they may have a need for another position. So that all kind of varies. And same with esports, in terms of the scholarships, you would want to talk to the coach, but those amounts do vary for esports as well. So, and as far as broadcast and journalism, does that prepare you for your own radio show? Absolutely. And the kind of the whole concept of our communications department is to give you hands-on experience starting as a freshman. So if you were a communications major, you're actually required to be in on the communications workshops, such as radio shows and the TV news broadcast, as a freshman. A lot of other schools that you might go to may make you wait until your junior or senior year before you get your feet wet and actually get to touch the equipment. But we want to throw you in there as a freshman, and you actually continue to participate in those things from your freshman to your senior year. And of course, for those who may not be looking to major in communications, you can still do that on the side whenever, your sophomore, junior year, whenever you want to chime in on that. But it does prepare you for a real world experience, whether it's handling camera, being a disc jockey, having your own show, whether it's a music show or talk show. You get to pick your format, what kind of music you play here, which is pretty cool. You get a lot of leadway, but it's designed so that when you go into the workforce, you pretty much hit the ground running. And I know that the local media market likes Concord graduates, and a lot of our grads are working in the media market because we come in already knowing, what to do. Very good question there. As far as the info on the nursing program, when that information will become available, that's also something that I would need to talk to someone about. I'm not exactly sure. I just do know that it is supposed to start on the fall of 2023, but the finite details of that, I would hope by the end of the semester, because it's still kind of pretty new, the fact that we did get approving. But that is a good question. So definitely keep your eyes and ears peeled about that. I don't think there's also been any press releases about the details of that nursing program, other than we have been approved for funding for it. So what are the requirements to get in Concord? We're actually going to talk about that in just a few minutes. I've got a couple of slides for that. Very good question. You do definitely want to know what you need to do to be admitted. So great question so far. I'm glad you guys are participating and engaging. So,
okay, well, since no more seem to be coming in, if you want to go ahead and continue, and if there are any more come up, just go ahead and put them in the chat, and we'll answer them as soon as we can.
Great. All right. Actually went down to the beginning. All right, so I think most people do understand that some type of post-secondary education is important, but if you needed any more encouragement, hey, that's what I'm here for. So every bit of education, whether you're at a college, trade, vocation, school, whatever the case may be, every bit of education and training you receive after college is going to increase your chances of obtaining a better paying job. We all have different motivations in life. Some of us may want to get the Humvee with 22s, 24s, 28s are my personal preference, but hey, whatever floats your boat. Some of us may just want to, get a family, get the wife, the house, the spouse, the 2.3 kids, whatever the case may be. all of those situations, it takes money to make those situations work. And of course, a lot of times that comes with having a good, stable education to put yourself in a position to earn a great paying job. This is a graph that kind of illustrates the correlation between expected lifetime earnings and level of education. And as you can see with a high school graduate, the expected lifetime earnings 1.2 million. You might say, Alan, man, that's a lot of money. And it is, but you got to remember, Uncle Sam's got to get his cut of the pie. And that's stretched across your lifetime. So once you do the math, maybe not quite as much as you initially thought, but just with a bachelor's degree, that almost doubles. So financial aid, very, very important. And I think, a lot of students are afraid of the FAFSA, especially for the first one. The family's gone to college. Sometimes your parents might be a little bit intimidated by this or kind of unsure what's going on. It doesn't lock you into taking out any loans or finances. It basically lets you know where you stand, and you have the option to accept or decline loans or grants. If you receive loans, of course, every student will receive $5,500 for that first year in loans. Like I said, at a school like Concord, of course, we're not going to apply loans to your account until you actually tell us to do that. Give us permission to take out loans. We always encourage students to only borrow what you need, and most students going to college anywhere do take out some amount of loans, but it is an investment in your future. And always remember, Concord graduates graduate with a greater the least amount of student loan debt than any of your public schools in West Virginia. So that's something we've been able to pride ourselves in for the past several years because we're very affordable, but we also offer a lot of financial aid. We have the second or third largest endowment for scholarships in the state of West Virginia as well. So that's something else that we've been able to pride ourselves in at Concord. If you're awarded grants, you don't have to pay grants back. So you always want to take out or accept as many grants as possible. You have something called the Pell Grant, and you have something called the West Virginia Higher Education Grant, and there's a couple other grants out there. But accept as much of that as possible because that's always going to help you. So speaking of scholarships and endowment at Concord, we offer scholarships which start at a 3.0 GPA. If you have a 3.0 and you did not have the opportunity to take the ACT or SAT due to COVID, then we can award you our base level scholarships at Concord. The next tier begins with a 3.0 and an 18 on your ACT, or a 3.0 and a 960 on your SAT. We'll look at either score. We're not partial. We don't mind which one you take, and we'll always honor the highest of the two and the highest one that you submit. So if you've taken the test so far, maybe you've submitted with some test scores, and you take it again and you raise your score to another tier, and if your GPA is already there, guess what? We're going to update your scholarship award letter for you. So that's always a great position to be in. We're not going to penalize you for your lowest score, so to speak. They are renewable. The merit-based scholarships Concord are renewable as long as you maintain a 2.5 GPA and complete 24 credit hours within the year, which is the minimum to be a full-time student. So pretty fair bargain there with our scholarshiping program. So go after your outside scholarships in your community, such as the Lions Club, the Ruritan's Club, Coca-Cola, Little General Store. Every little bit helps, whether it's $50 or $5,000. Go to your school counselor. Ask for a copy of the previous year's awards ceremony. Go down that list and say, hey, man, I didn't know these guys offered a scholarship. Let me find out how I can apply for this scholarship. Also at Concord, we have something called the Bonner Scholarship. We're the only public school in the whole nation that has the Bonner Scholarship program. One of our previous presidents was very instrumental in bringing that to Concord. It's valued at $3,000 per year. It's community service based. There's no prerequisite number of hours that you have to have coming out of high school to be awarded the Bonner Scholarship. We award about 20 per year roughly. And so we have a total of about 80 spots on campus. And those students complete about 140 hours of community service a semester, which is only about 10 hours a week. And they're flexible with you. You can get 21 week, you can get 2 another week, 7 another week, just so long as you get 140 in the semester. And that comes to you in the form of 3 different paychecks throughout each semester. So it totals $3,000 for the full year, excuse me. Also, we have something called the CU Free Scholarship. So if you have a 3.0 GPA and you qualify for the West Virginia Higher Ed Grant and the Pell Grant, and you, of course, live in West Virginia, and you file the FAFSA by April 15th, if you meet all those requirements, we'll make sure that there's no gap left in the tuition portion of your bill. So after all of your free money has been applied to your account, your grants, your scholarships, outside scholarships, after all free money is on there, if there's a gap left in the tuition portion, we'll take care of the rest if you meet those requirements. So that's why I say definitely get on the FAFSA. And of course, if you're going to be receiving the promise, it's going to be required for you to file the FAFSA. The promise application deadline is coming up. I think March the 1st is when it is. So definitely get on that promise application. Also, the Kanawha Valley Foundation, their scholarship application deadline may have passed. I'm not sure, but it's usually roughly around this time. Them and the Beckley Area Foundation. So you don't necessarily always have to be from those areas to receive scholarships from those foundations. Concord has a foundation. So apply for our foundation scholarships. So there are several opportunities for scholarships in there for students across the state of West Virginia and out of state. And we also have an alumni association that has scholarships, and they have some really good scholarships in our alumni association. So apply for both of those. Apply for as much as you can and get your college paid for. The admissions requirements, there is no application fee, by the way. It's free to apply. There's no essay. It only takes a few minutes to do. We are test optional. So if you have a 3.0 GPA, we can admit you without a test score, 3.0 cumulative GPA. If you have a 2.5 in your core classes, we can also admit you without a test score. Our normal requirements before COVID was a 2.0 and an 18, or a 2.0 and a 950. So if you meet either of those requirements, we can also admit you to Concord. If you're a little bit below, maybe you're struggling a little bit, or you had a bad year, we're not going to immediately deny you. We want you to still apply, send your information, send your transcript, your test scores, send all that to us, and let us make that decision. And what we're going to tell you is that, hey, we're going to put this application on hold and wait for you to bring your GPA up. And so that way, because we want to try our best to get you to Concord and help you out on that application. So don't lose sleep. Don't be discouraged if you're a little bit below any of those requirements, because we can work with you. And we are on some social networking, so follow us, like us, stay up to speed. TikTok, I did want to put a couple of TikTok videos of our mascot on here, but I decided not to. But find us on TikTok, all of the other social media outlets, and see what's going on here at the Campus Beautiful. And also, this is the admissions staff, so feel free to reach out to us, take down our contact information. We all share different parts of the state and the country, but we work as a team. So we're not, we don't fight over territories or anything. No such thing as a stupid question. And wherever you're looking to go to school, I can't encourage you enough how important it is to actually tour and go physically visit that campus. Don't just say, hey, I'm interested in XYZ University, apply, get accepted, and then don't visit until it's time to actually move into your residence hall. You definitely don't want to do that. You want to get a feel for the environment, the social environment, the overall culture of the place, because there are several great schools in the state of West Virginia and out of state, but you want to be able to make sure that you find the school that's the best fit for you, and that you can vibe with. So that's pretty much the end of the presentation there. And I guess I'll turn it back over to Andrew, and also check out and see if we have any questions that I can help you out with.
All right, thank you, Alan. And I guess this will be our last question break, even though we are pretty much, we finished with the presentation. And the question that I wanted the teachers to ask the students this time is, name one positive quality that makes this college unique to you all. And I would like to remind everybody that at the end of the visit, we will be picking one lucky educator to win a $20 gift card for participating in these questions. So please, just put something in there so we can get you a gift card, and let us know what really strikes you as good about Concord. What's one positive quality that makes Concord unique?
See, someone had asked, do we offer associate degrees? For the most part, no. There may be one or two, maybe like an office supervision. I'm not even really sure that we still offer that one anymore, but most of our degrees are geared toward the 4-year bachelor's degrees at Concord.
Yeah, and Tiffany McMahon's class says that they love the variety of degrees that you all offer.
Nice, nice.
Variety of places to eat, the radio broadcasting, that was very interesting, the esports.
Mm-hmm.
And the quality of the grads, like where they've gone and what they've gone on to do, that's all very, very impressive.
Great. I see some great comments in there. So for a school our size, I think we have a great international population. I see someone said diverse student body, and we have students from I think it was roughly 37 countries. So it's cool that you meet some of the people that you do meet in Southern West Virginia here at Concord University, and we are kind of like a close knit family, and that's kind of the culture of the place overall. Couple of other recent projects we did on campus. We re-turfed our football field this past summer. We turfed the infield of our baseball and softball field. Our tennis courts are getting ready to be turned into outdoor basketball courts. The president has approved that. We also resurfaced our gym floor this year. The 3-point line had to change for men's basketball. So those are a few things that happened kind of over the summer. And Concord is celebrating 150 years of being a school this year. So it's kind of a big deal, and we got a lot of things going on. So
sounds like everything is going great over there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right,
Never a dull.
That's right. Well, it looks like our questions and comments are slowly starting to dry up here. So we'll go ahead and finish up. That's the end of the presentation, right, Alan?
That was. I want to thank everyone who came in for joining me, and like I said, don't hesitate to reach out. I've enjoyed being with you guys today, and we'd love to have you on campus for a tour.